been more nerve-wracking coming on Loose Women or going behind bars with these incredible women that you've interviewed?
It was an extraordinary thing to film because I went to Texas and Florida and into these maximum security prisons. And the difference there is you murder someone in Texas and Florida, you don't come out. I mean, you're lucky if you come out within 50 years.
Yeah.
And I saw these women, and, you know, women who plan killings premeditatedly are incredibly rare. It's normally a crime of passion, spontaneous, a cheating husband or whatever it may be, punishing a child and then instant regret. Very rarely do you find women who, as we saw last week with Erin Caffey...
She was incredible.
I mean, absolutely terrifying. What was terrifying was she was so normal. You know, she was 4'11",
so
blonde hair, blue eyes.
And still didn't have a concept, I don't think, of really
I
what
think she'd
done.
almost trained herself that she was not to blame, that she had this controlling boyfriend. But when the boyfriend and his accomplice and the accomplice's girlfriend were all arrested, they all immediately said it was her idea. And then you had the father with this astonishing power of forgiveness who was able somehow to, I think he wants to believe her, but in his heart he knows that she was the mastermind.
Well, she's all that's left of his family.
Yeah,
so...
and it was heartbreaking, but a fascinating insight into a truly, I think, evil mind.
But it's very, very rare, Piers, isn't it, that a woman kills unaccompanied, you know, without an accomplice. In this country, we've had people like Myra Hindley who had a very, very close relationship with somebody, and it's very, very rare for women to kill, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's what made this series very unusual. I mean, the show tomorrow night has two killers. One is, in my view, psychopathic, even though she didn't use that as a defence and was found guilty of first-degree murder. And she had been going out with this oil baron in Texas. She was a beauty queen, a cowgirl, very beautiful, very intelligent to talk to. And she just decided that he'd run out of cash and served his purpose.
Wow.
She then, for several months, plans his shooting, goes to gun ranges, plans from the precise distance she used.
Why didn't she just break up with him?
Well, extraordinary. She calls him to the house and then she pumps 10 bullets into him. And then she goes on the run and she gets caught. And we have all the tapes where the police interview her, where it all unravels and she eventually confesses. And, you know, in her case, I really felt very intimidated. I thought this woman is psychopathic. And
but the clip of the lady that we saw before, that must have been very different.
Well, that one, if you didn't see the Making a Murderer series on Netflix, people saw that. It's a riveting series because it takes you on twists and turns and you can't decide, really, whether you think they're guilty or not. In this particular case, I emerged for 1 hour with this woman and I don't know if she killed that child or not. And half my crew thought she did. And half of them
Is that because they're relying on the evidence of a child, which is
he's the only
he's
witness.
Notoriously unreliable.
I've got 3 sons. They're all much older now, but when they were 5 years old, as he was at the time, you know, this is a girl who drowned in the pool. They found a little toy sort of bus thing by the side of the pool, lending support to the theory that the kids had themselves climbed up and were trying to get bugs out of the pool. There was a net floating in the pool. The mother said. The boy ran in and said, she's drowning. She ran out, tried to save her. The emergency services come and they assume it's an accidental drowning. The boy then goes off with the grandparents in the car to protect him. And in the car, he says, I saw Mummy dunking Adriana. On that evidence alone, and he changes his story quite regularly depending on who he's talking to, he gives evidence in court and his mother is sitting there and she gets life without parole.
Wow.
She's never coming out. And it's only on the evidence of this boy. It would, you know, there would be no conviction here, I don't believe, under those circumstances. You'd never see a boy of that age put up on in the camera and the lights of a courtroom. And I looked at this poor woman. Well, is she a poor woman? Look, if she did it, she's not a poor woman. She's a killer. At worst, I think you're dealing with a mother who was incredibly tired, lost her temper, tried to punish a child.
Do you think that women should be incarcerated for life? Because I've written about this, you know, quite a few times. I feel that even if women do commit a violent crime, there are very, very few women who weren't provoked into it, who we should lock up for their entire lives.
It's a very good question. And I think the answer, in the 3 cases that I did, in Erin Caffey's case, I would never let her out. I think she is genuinely evil because there's no other explanation for what happened. I think in the case of Amanda Lewis, the mother and the drowning, at worst, you're dealing, as I said, with just a moment of madness that she instantly regretted. But it may be she's completely innocent. And she's never coming out. In the third case, I think she had serious mental health issues, even though they never tried to use that as defence. So, look, it's riveting because women rarely kill. You're actually nicer people than we men. We kill a lot.
And you heard that from Piers Morgan.
For more Loose Women action, click here. And I'd subscribe if I were you. It's totally free, and it means you'll be kept up to date with new videos and exclusive YouTube content. And then we saw this relationship building with Jeremy, or Jez, as he became known. And it became very apparent that the two of you couldn't keep apart.